The best looking cars on sale right now. The Museum of Modern Art in New York essentially settled any debate about cars being art back in the fall of 1951 with the exhibition titled 8 Automobiles. These 8 transportation devices were chosen, primarily for their excellence as works of art. Was the beauty inherent in the car ever really in question? There are bad people everywhere, so probably. However, a whole lot of beautiful cars have been designed and built and lusted over since 1951. The Mercedes Gullwing, Jaguar E-Type, and Ferrari 250 GTS-WB all come to mind. That's not to take anything away from pre-1951 metal like the Daimler Double-Six 40/50, Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic Coupe, and Tatra T77. However, we are here to discuss the best-looking cars that you can walk into a dealership and buy today. With that in mind, keep watching. With that in mind, keep watching. 2020 Lexus LC500. I'd argue that the Lexus South Carolina was the most beautiful car design of the 90s, and while I think the brand has done some serious backsliding on the beauty front of late, the LC500 makes my knees wobbly like that dog South Carolina did. It's even drop-dead gorgeous as a convertible. The two coupes, separated by nearly 3 decades, look nothing alike. The South Carolina was all sensuous, organic curves, while the LC is all bent and curved planes, scoops, and kabuki face mask tears. But it somehow works. Predator spindle grille and all. And here again, the interior is as gorgeous as the exterior. (2020) Volvo S60. Even after driving it for almost 1 year, I'm still enchanted by the Volvo S60's design. Its clean lines and elegant structure mix well, and its Thor's hammer running lights give the front a bold face. Although the rear is my least favorite angle, its design has grown on me. The experience is complemented inside, where the mid-century modern approach welcomes you into the cabin. Its second row is spacious enough for rear passengers to travel comfortably, and its ample cargo area will impress. Overall, the Volvo S60 delivers everything you need in a premium package, and it might also get your neighbor's attention. (2020) Hyundai Veloster. The current Hyundai Veloster is an exercise in successfully blending aggression and quirkiness without going overboard. Hyundai's sporty asymmetrical hatchback has character in spades and moves to back up its attitude. You get a cool, fun-to-drive small car that's easy on the wallet and gets attention everywhere. Even in ACN guise, the Hyundai Veloster manages to look purposeful without excessive amounts of boy racer details. There are just enough cues hinting at the car's performance potential without looking like a spaceship that jumped out of a K-pop music video. (2020) Aston Martin DBS Superleggera. How is the DBS not the best-looking car on sale right now? The balance of its proportions is incredible. Its long hood and short deck smack of the beauty that the original Jaguar E-Type was imbued with. The gaping maw might be a bit much for some, but it's powerful and angry. Beauty and beast? Yes, most definitely. That aggressive face is backed up by its immense power terrain. The twin-turbocharged V12 under the hood makes a ridiculous 715 horsepower and 664 pounds-foot of torque, and all that power is sent to just the rear wheels. Aston Martin says the DBS will do 211 miles per hour, and there's very little doubt about that claim. But forget about the performance. As senior features editor Johnny Lieberman once said, "I'd buy one just to look at the damn thing. The only thing standing in our way is that $308,000 price tag. Oh, to be a rich man." ...2020 Maserati Gran Turismo. Yes, after more than a decade, it's finally gone out of production, but you can still buy new Gran Turismos on dealer lots right now as the last shipments are cleared out, and you should. The Gran Turismo is one of the best production designs of the century, still fresh 13 years after its debut. While Maserati has toyed with the nose and a few other elements over the years, sometimes more successfully than others, the Modenas have had the good sense not to mess too much with success. The final iteration is second only to the original in good looks and vastly superior in terms of refinement and technology. This is a car that will always stand out, that will always look more expensive than it is, and will always look good. ...2020 Mercedes-AMG GT 4-door. Brace yourself for heresy, the Mercedes-AMG GT is the best-looking Mercedes coupe of all time, SLS and 300 SL included. Those are beautiful enough for a museum showcase, but the AMG GT is even more so. Its proportions are millimeter precise, and every contour honed to perfection. Yet the GT 4-door increases the enamor. No, the coupe isn't as downright pretty as the coupe, but it's damn close. Actually, the GT 4-door's larger size and ultra-wide wheel options increase its visual impact. Aggressive details contrast magnificently against its elegant profile. It looks bloodthirsty and benevolent in equal measure. ...2021 Volvo V90. I have made no secret of my love for Volvo, having owned 5 of their sedans and wagons in my life. But the Volvo V90 is an extraordinary step forward in design that any luxury automaker would have been proud to produce. This wagon looks not like a wagon, but a sleek executive conveyance. Check the shallow rake of the windscreen, the jaunty kink of the hatch door, the distinctive Thor's hammer headlights, the door panels that are solid yet chiseled, and the beefy shoulders of the rear haunches. Get inside and see how Volvo interiors, with their cool Scandinavian design and detailed knobs, switches, and dials, deliver tactile elegance. Their seats are the best in the business. The Bowers and Wilkins stereos are sonically dynamic, and the speakers are visually stunning. Forget SUVs, the Volvo V90 is the perfect package. ...2021 Genesis G80. Call Genesis butter because it's on a roll. Look no further than the brand's latest additions to its lineup, the revised G90 flagship, the new GV80 crossover SUV, and the redesigned G80 midsize luxury sedan. The latter model stands out as both the most attractive Genesis model to date, as well as one of the most handsome sedans earmarked for the North American market. Unlike the previous G80, which had handsome proportions but forgettable styling details, the new model benefits from distinct styling that's unlike any other vehicle it competes against. At the same time, The G80 looks as classy as its sub-$50,000 starting price suggests. (2020) Bentley Continental GT. When it was introduced in 2003, the Bentley Continental GT was literally a fresh face in the grand touring segment, but it was rarely a leading contender in terms of performance. There were high-performance versions, Speed and R, but everything came together in terms of design and performance in 2019 with the introduction of the twin-turbo GT V8. With the introduction of the Porsche-sourced chassis and engine, the Continental took on larger significance in terms of style and performance. The engine was no longer ahead of the front axle, and it was no longer an also-ran. The Conti GT V8 took on and proved its aesthetic and performance credentials when it went up against the BMW M850i. Is there a prettier grand tourer? Perhaps the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera? Yet, the overall aesthetic of the Bentley and its resurgent performance has caught my eye. Ford GT. While many mainstream sedans and hatchbacks are constrained by costs and customer expectations such as practicality and comfort, supercar makers only really need to worry about making a car go fast and handle well, a problem that disappears when enough money is thrown at it. That's probably why so many supercars, especially mid-engine ones, are ugly. 2021 Jaguar F-Type. (2021 Jaguar F-Type). Few cars can rival the rich engine note of the Jaguar F-Type, especially in potent R form. And it looks as good as it sounds. Heads turn whenever I get behind the wheel of this sexy sports car. As there aren't too many of them on the road, even out here in California, you really stand out. Definitely more so than if you're driving a BMW or a Mercedes. Tesla Model S. If I were in a lineup and asked, what's my pick for today's best looking car? Which is exactly what's happening, I guess I'd be inclined to take a step back and quietly stare at my shoes. If the taut surfacing and minimalist chrome of 1950s European cars was maybe the zenith of automobile art, today's plague of bright work and crusted, multi-eyed insect headlights makes the tail-fin era seem tasteful. That said, and as a guy who had a 66 Euros Type and was once outbid on a 1937 Cord 810 Beverly, when a Tesla Model S passes by, I still find myself admiring its Franz von Holzhausen shape, even after 8 years in production. A part of Tesla's success is how well this car has aged, with slinky, sensuous lines that are still right, and details that remain perfectly proportioned. (2020 Audi A5 Sportback). A truly excellent design doesn't need enormous wheels to distract from visual imperfections. Instead, cars like the Audi A5 Sportback can turn your head whether you've sprung for the base Model E Special, the S5, or even the RS5 Sportback. That's what I love about the A5 Sportback. Its relatively simple design and gently sloping roofline can be appreciated no matter the trim. And regardless of where you are standing, the design of this four-door hatchback still impresses me.